need the 2 roses. All right. Okay. We are live, online, and in person. For those of you watching at home, we have an overflowing crowd this evening. Oh, we are online. Okay, we're live. Great. All right. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Glad you're here. If you want to scoot in, you certainly can, or stay where you are, and maybe some others will fill in. And we're going to join together in singing Hine Ma Tovu Manayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. How good it is that we can be together, those of you in person, those of you online, all of us together with one goal. Keep on singing with Shir Ladonai, Shir Chadash. I will sing to you, O God, a new song, a song of goodness, and I will sing to God and bless God's name. Strengthen us day after day. to turn to our candle lighting, and we're going to invite Gail Rose, who is almost at celebrating the 18th anniversary. We are just a few weeks away from that celebration. Wait, here, I know you want a microphone. Because we have Nate here, will you play some pretty stuff for a moment, and while we maybe take a few moments before we get to Lachadodi, a few moments to take a breath and let go of this stress from the week that was. See if we can welcome in a little bit of calm on this Shabbat. We'll see if we can even dim the lights, if it'll work. Looks like it's going to work. Focus on the lights of Shabbat that are kindled in front of us. Let's read this together while Nate's still playing in the background. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and into our lives. We'll join together in just a moment in singing Lachadodi. You can find that on page 20 or up here on the screen.
Machshavot tefillah.
to rise and face the entrance to the room. Now that Emily and Bart got comfortable, we'll ask you to rise and we'll join together. Bo'i v'shalom.
Bo'i v'shalom, ateret bala, kom besimcha uvetzchola, tok emunei am segula, bo'i chala.
Let's read together on page 27. We'll stay standing because we're going to do another prayer in just a moment. Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer on the mystery of a withered leaf, on ripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days, lest my day be today as the one before, lest routine set my ways. We'll join together in singing Baruch Hu. Seated. Let's read together first in the Hebrew, and then we'll turn over to the English on the next page. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach she'arim, uvitvuna mishane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umisader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which the time and seasons glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spins to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Amen. And let's join together in reading this English version of Ahavat Olam. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Amen. We'll join together in this special version of Shema called Listen, and we will be seated until the end when we actually sing the prayer, and we'll rise at that point. Let's join together and listen. Seated. We're going to turn in just a moment. With that beautiful prayer kind of floating in the air around us, we're going to turn to the Michamocha, the prayer of thanksgiving and gratitude, for which we are going to be celebrating on this coming Wednesday night. It is hard to believe, Maybe that's why there aren't that many people in person. Everyone is, not wanting to be too Jewish this week, and we have a lot of seders coming up.
They're cooking.
Yes, they're cooking. That's right. That's right. But does anybody have a simcha that they'd like to share? Something that they're excited about, something positive from the last week or weeks? Takers? I think my kids ran downstairs already. Yes, Emily.
Her middle school band is playing in the Cleveland Cavaliers on the court before the game tonight. So the kids took a trip on a charter bus, and she's been texting me all day. I gave her a budget and some money, and she really wanted to know if she could buy the olives. I didn't respond in about 10 or 15 minutes, and she said, I'm just going to do it. So she bought the olives. It sounds like she's having a great time.
Hopefully it's not in a martini. Yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully not. Go Gwen, that's great. That's terrific. Anybody else? Let me look online here and see if anyone else is sharing anything. There's nothing I see here other than we are going to join together in singing Mi Chamocha, saying, "Who is like you, God, who enables us to see these miracles every day." We do have one more simcha that came in. Miriam Siegfried shared that last Sunday, her daughter and cousin and I participated in the fight for air climb, raising over $600,000. Sorry, 6,600 would be very, very impressive. Raising over $6,000 for the American Lung Association. So that's great. Miriam's been doing that for years, and what a really amazing thing to do. So for all of those and all of those simchas that we have in our hearts, we celebrate that together. We're going to turn to Vishamru, which you can find on page 44 or here on the screen as we celebrate the idea of Shabbat and keeping Shabbat as a precious island in time.
Oh
if you are willing and to rise, now would be the time to do that. As we turn to the Amidah, you can find that beginning on page 46 or up here on the screen with Adonai Sefatai. We'll go right into the Avot after that.
Adonai Sefatai Tiftahu fi Hilatecha.
Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, V'zocher Hasdei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo Bi'ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mehayeh HaKol Atah Rav Le'Hoshi'ah, Mehalkel Chayim B'Chesed, Mehayeh HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit, Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'emanat Hayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mehayeh HaKol. Atah Kadosh v'Shimcha Kadosh, V'Kedoshim b'chol yom Yehalalu Chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Amen. You may be seated. And we're going to take just a few moments for some personal prayer. You could use the words that are here on the screen or on the words in your prayer book between pages 54 and 60, or whatever words are in your heart at this moment. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. A couple weeks ago, as we were about to begin our Shabbat services, the power went out. I actually talked about that at Shabbat Chai last week, so if you want to know more about that, check out the streaming from last week. On Friday night, the power ended up being restored about 10 minutes after we left the building. The next morning, we were set to host Tat Shabbat here with a large group of toddlers and their families signed up to attend. And when I walked into the sanctuary early on Saturday morning, I realized that because the power had been out, all of the stuff from the night before was scattered everywhere. Glow sticks strewn about, battery-powered candles, music stands out of place, challah crumbs were, as far as the eye could see, it was just a bit of a mess. Luckily, I am perpetually early to temple events. It's a weird habit of mine, so I had time to clean it all up before the next service began. But standing there, picking up glow sticks and putting things back where they belonged, I started thinking, while it might seem obvious that we have to clean up from one event before starting another, it is not always how we live our lives. Just the other day, I was trying to find a sweatshirt for one of the twins and realized that their drawers were still so full of clothes that don't fit them anymore. We hold on to things because at one point they were useful or meaningful or just easier to leave where they are and pile new stuff on top. And it's not just closets. Lauren makes fun of me because while she likes to clear out her email inbox every day, mine has something like 300,000 unread messages. Mostly spam, I assume. I don't know. Sorry if you tried to reach me via email. And as of the writing of this sermon on Tuesday, at the time I had 798 unheard voice messages on my cell phone dating back to 2018. I think it's a couple more now. I know that I may be extreme, but I know that also I am not alone in this. It is the desk drawer that is never quite cleared out, or the pile of papers on the counter that somehow becomes permanent, or the garage we promise that we'll get to one of these weekends. It's the way we move from one week to the next without really letting go of what came before. Maybe it's also the argument that we're holding on to, or the stress that follows us from one day to the next, or the weight we carry upon our shoulders even when we don't need to be doing that anymore. We don't always pause to clear that space up, to clean it out. And the truth is, it's hard to start something new while we are still surrounded by what came before. In our Torah portion this week, our tradition quietly instructs us that maybe we should take this cleanup task a little more seriously. At the beginning of the Torah portion Tzav that we're reading this weekend, we have an instruction telling the Kohanim, the priests that were doing all of the ritual sacrifices, we have an instruction that tells them what to do with the leftover ashes from the sacrifices. We learn that the first thing the priest does every single morning is put on some ordinary clothes, not the sacred vestments he usually wears, and then he scoops up the ashes from yesterday's sacrifices, carefully carries the ashes outside of the camp to what the Torah calls a pure place. Before anything new could be offered, the old had to be lifted up and carried away. I love this detail because the ashes were not treated like garbage. They were handled with care because those ashes were what remained from something holy, from offerings that mattered, from moments of connection and meaning. But even something holy, if it is left to pile up, can begin to block what's supposed to come next. So each day begins the same way. Before we can start building connection that day, we must first clear up a space. Before we can really move forward, we have to let go of yesterday's ashes, which is a lot harder to do than it sounds for most of us. Some people in our congregation and many people in more traditional settings are about to embark on a huge clean-out task as we prepare for Passover this week. There is this traditional idea that you clear out all the chametz, all of the leavened products, even the crumbs that are behind your stove and under your fridge, and in our household, that is a lot of them. We do a less intense version of this clean-out at our house, but it's an important Passover ritual nonetheless. But Jewish tradition has always understood that this cleaning is not just about making our homes and our kitchens clean and look like an HGTV show. Maybe it is instead a reminder of how we are supposed to move forward. Because over time, things accumulate, not just stuff, but feelings, old frustrations, lingering hurts, worries that we carry with us long after we need to, conversations we replay over and over again and change exactly what we would have said if we would have thought about it in the moment, grudges we won't release, that quiet weight that builds up on our shoulders over time, like ashes on the altar. And remember, the ashes themselves are not bad. They're even considered holy because they were the remains of the sacrifice. But if we never clear them away, they begin to smother the fire. If we never carry them off, we may be unable to kindle the next spark. So the Kohanim, the priests, teach us something that is very human, that every day should start with a small act of release. Rather than ignoring our past or pretending it didn't matter like the Kohanim, perhaps we could put on some ratty clothes, gently lift up that which we are carrying, and set it down. Because only then will we really be able to keep the fire burning. There's a powerful real-life example about this kind of letting go from many, many years ago when Nelson Mandela was released from prison after 27 years. He had every reason to hold on to anger. He had been in prison, separated from his family, stripped so much of his life, and yet when he walked free, he made a conscious decision. He later said, quote, "As I walked out the door toward my freedom, I knew that if I didn't leave my bitterness and hatred behind, I would still be in prison." He understood something profound. You can walk out of a place that confined you and still be trapped by what you're carrying with you from that place. So he chose to set something down. Not because of what happened to him didn't matter, but because he knew he couldn't step into the future without holding on to the past, or while still holding on to the past. How much different would we feel if we could cast off some of the negativity that weighs us down? How much different would we feel if the first thing we did when we woke up in the morning was to say to ourselves, I'm going to replay this conversation in my head one last time, and then I'm going to set it away outside of the camp. I'm going to remember how Avi slighted me at that Hanukkah party, savor it one more time, and then I'm going to discard it and discard that anger. Or maybe I'm still going to feel that grief that I am feeling for my loved one, but today I'm going to try to set just a little bit of it aside. And maybe that's what this pre-Passover week is really inviting us to do. Because in just a few days, we're going to all sit around our Passover tables and tell the story of our people triumphantly leaving Egypt, the story of walking away from a place that confined us and stepping into something new. But this Torah portion reminds us freedom does not begin with walking out. Sometimes it begins with letting go. The Israelites didn't carry everything with them when they left Egypt because they couldn't. There just wasn't room to carry all that stuff. They were in a hurry. And neither can we. We don't have room either. Because if we are holding on to everything from yesterday, every frustration, every hurt, every weight, there is no space left for what tomorrow may bring. There is no space for that joy that we need now more than ever. There's no space for the renewal that this season could bring for us. There is no space to move from a narrow place like Egypt to the freedom that we know we want to find. So as we are cleaning out our kitchens or preparing for Passover or whatever you're doing over the next few days, maybe this year we can ask ourselves an important question. What am I ready to set down? What is something I have been carrying that I no longer need to carry into this next chapter? What is one thing I can take and very gently and very respectfully move it away from this sacred place outside of the camp of our daily lives and place it down with love? When we can let go of yesterday's ashes, when we can acknowledge them and say goodbye, only then will we be able to make space for something new, something perhaps remarkable, and truly find the freedom that we seek during this Passover season and throughout our year. Together we say amen to that. Hopefully we can do it. know there are a lot of folks who are holding on to pain and illness. We're turning to the Mishaberach Lecholim. And one of the ways that we can help folks put some of that down is to reach out to them. So if you hear of somebody on this list who is in need of healing and you know them, just a friendly reminder that a quick text or a phone call could be really helpful in letting go of some of the grief that they may be feeling in their illness. On this Shabbat, we are thinking lovingly of healing for Stephen Axelrode, Margie Block, Lindsay Brilson, Marge Serrani, Keith Clark, Bruce Cohn, Stephen Cohn, Carrie Eschler, Marilyn Friedman, B. Gardner, Alan Goldberg, Tina Goodman, John Golden, and Jody Heffley. We're thinking of Debbie Hildebrandt, Richard Holsinger, Beth Jasalowitz, and Richard Kraut, Dan Lang and Mary Luckton, Kathy Matthews, Mary McDonough, Minna Melton, and Nachama Michaela. We're thinking of Brian Mason, Naomi Miller, Frank Murdaco, George Nagy, Lisa Pena, Jeremy Phelan, Ian Phillips, Richard Prostowski. We're thinking of Jessica Rathkoff, Aidan Riggle, Willa Rohrbaugh, Emma Rose, Leanne Rosenberg, Maya Rossio, June Sahara. We're thinking of Tirza Sander, Ralph Sauer, Yafa Schnitzer, Eliza Sinkinson, Heather Smith, Lou Sepowitz, Kaya Malcha Bat Ephraim Vitzvia. We're thinking of Rachel Vieira, John Wasserstrom, Dr. Daniel T. Weidenthal, Harvey Weintraub, Jerry Young, and Ozzie Zimmer. Are there other names? I see we have a few other names here that are listed for healing, and let me ask in the congregation, do we have any names of folks who are in need of healing? We're going to add to those names Evan William, Larry Gooden, Mary Bryant. Any other names? And we'll say, Baruch Ata Adonai Rofeha Holim, blessed are you, God, who sends us healing and strength when we most need it. Let's join together in singing. We'll turn to the concluding prayers of our service. You can find Elenu starting on page 282, then 287 are on the screen. And if you are able, we'll invite you again to please rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tet gedula l'yotzer b'reshit, shelo asanu k'goyei ha'aratzo, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam helkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, mishtachavim umodim, lifnei malach
However brief may be our time on earth, O God, you endow those fleeting days with abiding worth. We recall our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us. And we are thinking very lovingly of Susan Wilco. We are also remembering with lots of love Eliana Keebler, Dr. Alex Dubin, Sam Goldak, Sandra Cohn, and James Fox, all who have been recently taken from our midst. And we remember those who died at this season in years past. We are thinking of Dorothy Cohn, Tom Kulker, Shauna Itkoff, Milton Katz, Melvin L. Klein, Laura Levy, Jerry Masser, Judith Narens, Bertha Libby Rappaport, Yetta Roth, Joanna May Rubin, Evelyn Rudner, Erlike Sachs. We're thinking of Sanford B. Sanford, Edward Schneider, Evan Joel Shope, Marjorie Schulman, and Howard Smilak. Are there other names, folks, we are remembering this evening? And on their behalf and on behalf of all those who have no one to say Kaddish for them, we turn to page 294, or up here on the screen, as we recite together our Kaddish prayer. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon uvyamechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, b'agala uvizman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'olam ulamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmei dekudasham b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata. Damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim alenu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'imromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Alenu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May God, who sends peace to the folks who are mourning, help us to find that peace throughout the earth. And together we say, Amen. You may be seated. And I have a text from Becca with announcements. Let me see. She says, I trust you with announcements. I think that was a mistake. Let's see. If you need a place to Seder, for the Seder, if you still need a place for the Seder and you haven't signed up yet, the online form is closed, but you can still give us a call. Though I think over the weekend we are going to start putting the tables together. So if you know that, maybe tell me tonight, and we'll make sure to get you on the list for that. And the temple office will be closed on Thursday and Friday this coming week, except for services on Friday night. And we have, and Passover starts Wednesday night, very excitedly. And we have also excitedly on Saturday, April 18th, celebrating Gail Rose. I think there are a few spots left, but I know that it's there it is. I know that the gala is almost sold out. Do you know if are there still a couple seats for folks watching?
I think if you call Bobby,
Okay.
you might get in.
Great. Terrific.
You
All right.
bribe him.
Call Bobby, yes. Bribe him or bribe Gail, and you'll get in. That'd be great. That's all the announcements I have for now. I'm sure there's other stuff coming up. What did I miss? Anything else?
No, perfect.
Great. Terrific. Well, let's sing together. I lost my connection to the iPad here to get to the next slide. But why don't we do, let's do a closing song, and then we'll do Kiddush and Motzi. Shalom Aleinu, O Devo Shalom Aleinu, O Devo Shalom Aleinu,
O Devo Shalom Aleinu, O Devo Shalom Aleinu, O Devo Shalom Aleinu, Hey Al Kulam, Salam, Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam, Salam, Salam, Salam. Salam, salam.
Thank you to Nate Terry for pulling double duty this week, a concert and an accompanist. We appreciate that. And Gail Rose, as always. Let's join together in Kiddush and Motzi. We'll see if any of these microphones will work. For those folks who are still watching online, anybody want Manischewitz? Anybody want to do the Kiddush honors? Yes, Bear, you want to come up here? All right. We have a volunteer. He volunteers as tributes.
Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen, l'chaim.
The good stuff. Want to finish it off? Don't blame you. We had a bat mitzvah recently who didn't know any better, and she just chugged the whole Kiddush cup. Oh, that poor kid. She did not look happy. We advise against that. I'll come over here and we can pass this around. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lachem min haaretz.
Amen.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Downstairs.